playing multiple musical instruments, speaking multiple languages, being so flexible, so versatile. Like I'm involved in so many different things. I play so many sports, and it's not because I'm athletic or because I'm a genius or I just exaggerate. I exaggerate the life out of every single thing. You know, I told myself one day that I'm never gonna drink in a plastic cup ever again or eat from a plastic plate. I think about this. If president visits your house, what would you serve them food in? If a king, if royalty, if a respectable person, if someone that you looked up to walked into your house, what kind of dishes would you offer them food in? I wondered, why do I disrespect myself this way? Whilst if a president, a head of state, would walk into my house, I would bring out the best dishes. If you would even make sure that there's no stains at all. I'm like, why don't I treat myself that way? But what is this thing that I have about myself that I don't respect, that they have about them, which they don't have to tell me to do this for them? You would just act instinctively. And I told myself I'm never going to eat from any plastic cups or eat from any plastic plates or drink from plastic cups anymore. And this one time I was challenged. My mom served me some tea in a plastic cup. Looked at the cup, I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna make a problem out of this. I just got up, took the cup, went into her kitchen, and I didn't pour the tea into the cup. I actually made another cup of tea. Just made a cup of tea. Like, I don't know. It seems like an exaggeration, but I do not want to affiliate myself with anything at all. Because listen, energy is real. Energy is real. So I just wanted to free myself from any single kind of energy that is against whatsoever I believe in. So I just poured it out. Just poured it out. Made another one. It's not that big of a deal, right? But it is. It's a very tiny thing, but it is. Listen, you're not going to break out of unusual situations with usual means, with usual methods, with usual strategies. You need to exaggerate. It could come off like you're doing too much. It would come off like you're being arrogant, you're being proud, you're so many negative things that could be said about it. But listen, you need to exaggerate. You need to exaggerate. You need to exaggerate. I was 14 years old. I told myself from now on, I'll only dress according to my taste and not according to what's available. Listen, you know what happened? The first thing that happened was not me now dressing great and amazing. No. The thing that happened was this. I told myself, I'm going to remove every single piece of clothing which isn't good stuff. There's the stuff that you would sleep in and not want anyone to see you in. I got rid of all of that, right? Got rid of every single thing that isn't like anything that was like from decent to all the way to mediocre to terrible. I got rid of all of it. Listen, I thought I had I thought I had a decent amount of clothes to work with. After a week, I had repeated almost everything multiple times already, and my clothes then began to fade because you would wear something and then you put this on the line and you would wash this, put it on the line because I want to remain clean. And things started damaging, the clothes started damaging. But I look back and I would look at how I dress now. Like it wasn't, it wasn't, it kind of, it, I can't say it wasn't intentional. It's what I wanted. It's all that I imagined. I only have good pieces. So if you only have good pieces of clothing, your outfits are bound to always be good 100% of the times because 100% of all you have is good pieces. I go to sleep in something I can go out in. And this is not a flex. This is what I manifested. I just believed in so much that, like, listen, I'm going to do this and this is how it's going to be. I stuck through it. And I would do some odd jobs. I was still in high school at the age of 14. And I would do some jobs during school holidays. And then I would use that money to go and get me a watch. I would get me some accessories, necklaces, rings. I would get, a nice shirt, jeans, I'd get myself shoes. And I don't see how else I would have gotten out of that loop without exaggerating. You need to exaggerate. You need to exaggerate. This is how I brainwashed myself. Like, listen, there was a moment. There was a moment, and I share this with my brothers a lot. There was a moment when my brothers and I sat down, and all three of us couldn't put together enough coins, not even enough coins, to buy a loaf of bread. We just got out of school. We were all famished, hungry, and we were just there looking at each other. You know those moments when you start digging in the house, you're lifting sofas and checking under the bed, looking in your pockets, hoping you're gonna find something. And we found nothing after turning the house upside down. And guess what we did? We sat there and laughed. And I started laughing, right? And then they didn't know why I was laughing, but they just joined me laughing. It made sense for us to just laugh at that moment. It wasn't enough to break us. But what happened is, in my mind, I thought about how this will make such a great story later on once we've made it, because there was no doubt that it would make it. In that very same period, there was a time someone said, ah, rich people are evil. And I asked them, what did we do to you? Listen, this is the very same person who couldn't put together coins along with his brothers to get a loaf of bread. And the person says, rich people are so evil. I didn't even ask them, what did rich people do? No, I said, what did we do to you? Listen, you are only going to receive what you are. If you're a millionaire, you're going to get millions. If you're a billionaire, you're going to get billions. Listen to this. There's been those that have acquired millions and never managed to keep it because they weren't millionaires. There's a point you'll get where you get stuff and then you not understand. You reach, after spoiling so much of it, after wasting so much of it, you get to a certain point after you made millions, then you've got like 30,000 left, you've got 15,000 left, and then you're like, wait a minute, now I need to be careful. I'm gonna run out. You've already run out. It's done for you. Listen, you were not a millionaire. It made you behave crazy because that's not who you were. I started getting compliments, and I was like, I was like, no, don't talk to me. Why? Because in my head, I wasn't looking at it like, damn, like I dress so great, I speak so great, I articulate so great, I reason so great. Listen, I just came across a scripture one day, and Bible saying God freely gives wisdom to whoever that asks, and I was like, I I'm gonna try this. And I just asked for wisdom. But guess what? After asking, I got injected with the craziest degree of curiosity. I just kept asking this, asking that, and blah blah blah. And I became so obsessed with people that know how to express their thoughts exactly how they think it. I saw that as an art. Like, I'm looking at this person speak, I'm like, what are you? Who are you? And I obsessed myself on filling the gaps between how they spoke and how I spoke at that point, how they presented their thoughts and how I presented my thoughts, how they are understood compared to how I was being understood, how they used to dress compared to how I used to dress, and made all those alterations, all those adjustments. But I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't preparing myself for it. I just obsessed. I I just obsessed. I exaggerated. I obsessed myself so much that you can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me otherwise. These these things I've written down that if I tell you stories of some things that I've seen, some things that I've witnessed, and the kind of child I was the worst. I'm not gonna be able to raise me if I give birth to a child who behaves like how I behave. My mom is a hero. She is superwoman. I don't know how she put up with me, how she managed, but she managed. She survived. She's still alive. And yet, God still said, yes, you. Yeah. Don't get it confused. Stop looking around. Yes, you. Yeah. Not anybody else, you. And I just obsessed myself with becoming great. I can't help it. I just can't help it. The pain of not doing things that would make me great is great. It's such a great pain of just not moving forward. You know, one of the hardest things I find right now is making time to shoot videos. I try to like just have one day and then I'll shoot a whole batch of videos, a whole bunch of them, and then upload through the month. And then I decided, what, let me build momentum. I told myself one time, because I am lazier than Lazarus when he was inside the tomb. I am lazier than the word lazy used to look up to me. Listen, the word lazy was like, boy, he's kind of lazy is a 7-letter word. Like it's got 7 letters in his lazy. Weird. Like, what? So I then brainwashed myself. Listen, I told myself, I tricked myself. I kept telling myself that now I'm an extremist. I just say that I am an extremist. I just never did anything surface level, mediocre, or subpar, or just at a shallow degree. I just obsessed myself over any single thing that I cared for. I One day I was in a ride with some guy and we were speaking, and he told me that, oh no, he's into golf, he plays golf with his boys and all that. I'm like, no ways, no ways. It's like, yes ways. I'm like, I bought golf clubs today. On that day I told him, I just bought golf clubs today. Like, I can't believe this. And we exchanged contacts, and I went out to play golf with them one day, and that was my first day ever going, because I just bought on that day, and the next day we went out to play golf. And yeah, I was I was rubbish. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. Right? I now advise them on what to do. Not not like some of them, all of them. I advise. I'm like, hey, listen, step a little bit forward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, twist your arm a little bit this way. Okay, cool. Yeah, coming this way, yeah, hit down into it, hit up into it. But I just exaggerated. I obsessed myself over every single thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what more. I, and if you would like for a one-on-one consultation, my email is down below, or you could comment, let's work. And I'm going to reach out to you, send you a form, you fill in the form, and if it aligns, we can work together.